we are planning to do something pretty special in the next couple of days.
Something we've never done before. Pretty excited to do this.
270 kilometers, no fuel, no water, no reception. You've really got to prep for this one. That fly just flew straight into my mouth and went down my throat.
Welcome to the Outback.
We watched plenty of videos where people haven't quite made it across and have had some help to get out.
How good is this?
Look at that view. I tell you what, waking up to views like that, it's just experiences that you don't forget. And this is definitely up there on probably one of the coolest spots we've ever found. Oh, I'm a bit disappointed actually.
Don't worry, we'll find you some water before the year's over. Look, I can't get over this spot. Absolutely gorgeous, look at it. That's amazing.
Good morning. We are coming to you from a little bit further down the Western Australia coast this time. We have come about 150 kilometres inland from Carnarvon to a little place called Gascoyne Junction.
Did you aspirate a fly?
That fly just flew straight into my mouth and went down my throat.
Welcome to the Outback.
All right, take two.
All right, take two.
Good morning. We are planning to do something pretty special in the next couple of days.
A little road trip that we've never done before. We're about to take on the Kennedy Ranges loop track. So as Em said, we just stopped in at Gascoyne Junction. Cool little town for travellers. Not a big place, but you can get water there, you can get fuel, you can restock on a few bits and pieces. So stopped in there and we're now at the start of the western side of the Kennedy Range loop. First obstacle coming up for us, I believe, will be the Gascoyne River crossing. So I don't think there's a whole lot of water in there at the moment, but there's a few little things to watch out for in the shape of quicksand type stuff on the base of the crossing. So
yeah, it should be a good little 4x4 track. It's a little less travelled than a lot of other sort of spots in Western Australia, but we've heard it's absolutely beautiful. It's about a 270 kilometre loop starting on the western side, takes you up over the ridge and down onto the eastern side. So yeah, really excited for this one. We've seen some beautiful pictures.
Looks stunning from the top of the cliffs at sunset and sunrise. So looking forward to it. Let's get into it.
So is this the river?
Yep. No water, she's pretty dry. We're standing in the middle of the river right now.
All right, so we've just jumped out, we're walking across the river with no water. We did a lot of prep for this one because we weren't sure what to expect on this track. And we also spoke to the lady at the information centre, and I don't know, we definitely expected there to be some water still at this time of year. It is at times in the year, it's a 200-metre wide water crossing, apparently. So with a pretty soft bottom, we've watched plenty of videos where people haven't quite made it across and have had some help to get out.
You can see how it would be very easy to get stuck in here though if there was water, because the sandy base is just it's even hard to walk on.
It is, yeah. Oh, I'm a bit disappointed actually.
Don't worry. We'll find you some water before the year's over.
I was excited for this one. Wow, it's so vast though. It's a huge river. You can imagine when it's full.
Massive.
So I'm assuming we can still take the track straight through, even though we were told that that's generally not a great one to take when it's full of water, but it's pretty dry. I think the base would be a little bit solid, more solid than usual.
Just behind us, it splits off to the right, and they suggest that you take the right-hand track if there's water in it, because of just how sandy the straight ahead route is. But yeah, this is just sand. Worst case, you can grab the max tracks out, and I'll just yell out to you from the car.
It could potentially be a max track job. It's pretty soft, but our tyres are pretty low. We should be fine.
Yeah, we'll be right.
Okay.
All right, we'll crack on. Now we've just stopped at Mooka Creek and found a heap of this mookite, or mookite jasper as it's called, and it's pretty incredible, just some of the colours throughout it. Apparently this is the only place in the world where this can be found, where it can be found naturally. We're just quite amazed by just the variety in the, like, we've got pieces here that are super red, and this one almost looks like a gold colour. So it's sort of used as an ornamental gemstone, and people make, pendants out of it and coffee tables if you can find a big enough piece and all sorts of stuff. It's pretty incredible just the way that the colours change throughout the stone. It's quite amazing. This piece. It's just amazing how it layers like that. This one. It's like a Neapolitan.
Ice cream.
Yeah. So I believe it's a silica-based stone.
We found Australia.
It's just missing Cape York.
And Tasmania.
And yeah. It's a different country, isn't it?
So cool.
So cool.
This whole creek bed is full of them.
Heaps. You just keep finding like new colours, and there was one over there that was like more black and white. It's just amazing. I sound like a real rock doctor, don't I? All right, shall we press on?
Yep.
After our quick stop at Mooka Creek, we jumped back onto the loop track. The track is approximately 270 kilometres from junction to junction and takes about a day and a half to complete, depending on how long you stop at each point of interest. And there's definitely plenty of those to see. As we headed up into the ranges, we were really surprised by the changes to the landscape. From crossing dry riverbeds and slow rocky tracks, to vast red sand dunes covered in spinifex as we neared the top. By this point in the day, it was time to find a campsite. We were really eager to make it to the top of the range for sunset and set up camp if we could make it there before dark. And we were definitely not disappointed by what we found.
Good morning. We have just woken up, had some brekkie at this pretty epic camp spot that we ended up finding. Look at that view. I tell you what, waking up to a view like that and sitting and having dinner and watching the sunset, I don't know, it's definitely not an experience that you forget. It's pretty incredible. So along this range, there's a couple of vista points up here on the top. There's one called the Neck and there's one called White Stacks. And we're pretty sure that this spot here is called the Neck. Really, really incredible. If you do come and do the loop, we highly recommend this little camp spot. So the plan for today, we are starting to head down the east side of the range. There's a couple of points of interest along the way that we're keen to stop and check out, but ultimately our goal is to get to Honeycomb Gorge, which is a cool gorge that apparently, the walls resemble honeycomb, which is pretty cool. So far, this has been an absolute incredible drive. So I'm really excited to see what the eastern side has to offer as well. Maddie's currently packing up the car for us like a good boyfriend. We're about to hit the track, so we'll see you there.
Driving along the ridgeline was an experience like we've never had. The vibrant colours and sheer scale of the cliffs make it a pretty unforgettable drive. At this point in the loop, we started heading down the east side of the range. Just like the west side, it's pretty spectacular how the landscape continuously changes. And there are lots of interesting little spots we got to see before we finally reached the bottom of the range and headed towards Honeycomb Gorge. To reach Honeycomb Gorge, you need to take the 600-metre trail which follows a stony creek bed to a large amphitheatre. The walls are filled with honeycomb-like cavities that have been eroded into the cliff face by wind and water spray from a seasonal waterfall above the cliff face. We were incredibly lucky to have this whole place to ourselves. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you liked the video. And keep an eye out for our next episode as we continue down the Western Australia coastline, finding even more epic spots.